From October Gallery in Philadelphia, this is ATN, Art TV Network.
Like a phenomenon in my city, and I ended up getting a record deal and inventing what they call gangster rap, which is basically hardcore apolitical music from the perspective of a kid in the street hustling.
As an actor, I auditioned for Soul Food, booked the role as Lim. That started my television career as an actor, and then I moved into movies, and this is where I am today.
Maybe working as an atmosphere or an extra in one film, the next film you may get a chance to read and you play a role.
I used to watch the director and the DP and everything to see how the machine was operating, because I knew one day I wanted to be a principal someplace.
Create as many options for yourself in life, because if you become monodimensional in this world, you'll be very boring.
The publishers kept coming at me and saying, we're going to do this, and we're going to take this percentage, and we're going to do this, and you have to do that. I'm like, I can't keep up with all that. You know, that's what made me mad. I felt it was going to do something to me. So what I did was I published it myself.
Step and fetch it. Shuffled his feet and scratched his head so that when I came along, all I had to do was shuffle my feet. He said, Denzel doesn't have to do either. That's the way this thing is built.
So this is about getting up close and personal and having a discussion about blacks in the media. And so let's start there.
Let's ask them how they got started. Just quickly, just get that out of the way, because people here want to know, they don't know. Bernadette, if you'll start for us.
Okay, hi.
Hi.
I got started, well, I was always a dancer, always going to dance class and always in beauty pageants. So this one summer, I was in a beauty pageant, and there was a manager there. And he asked my mom, he said, she looks like she would fit really good in this series that's coming out. And so my mother took me up to CBS, and I auditioned. It was back and forth for about 3 or 4 months. And then, like a Christmas present, a couple of days before Christmas, I found out that I was Thelma. That's just how it happened.
That's great.
And Ralph?
First and foremost, good afternoon, good evening to everyone here. I would like to thank Bima and also Mr. Lott for allowing us this opportunity to share our time with you. I love you, Lady Prim. It's so good to see you here today as well in my life. I began show business in the 1970s, and as a child actor, I was very fortunate enough, before I worked on Good Times, to be a veteran of 6 Broadway plays, musicals primarily, before that time. I had also simultaneously the honor to be on Broadway with Mr. Clifton Davis. He, at that time, was doing Two Gentlemen of Verona, and I was in To Me Nobody Knows and Raisin. And it was always an honor because he set such a high standard as an artist that I also watched and grew from his work. However, prior to receiving my work in Good Times, we worked at the Walnut Street Theater here in Philadelphia in a play that I did, written by Lorraine Hansberry, entitled A Raisin in the Sun. But we did Raisin, the musical version, here. So I'm deeply indebted to the springboard of theater that the Walnut Street Theater allowed us. Because if you can't get through D.C. and if you can't get through Philly, you may not make it to Broadway. So, no, it's really true. Because the way the theater train runs, some of the New York theater goers think they're so sophisticated, but you got to go through the D.C. Philly gauntlet first. And welcome to our next guest, of course. Welcome, Brother Ice-T.
Yes, Ice-T has arrived.
How you doing? All right, cool. I want to met them early. Hello, everybody.
I just gotta tell my brother I'm a huge fan.
That's what's up. Thank you.
Fan of Law and Order SUV. Yeah.
SUV. The SVU.
SVU.
Special utility vehicle. Everybody says it. Don't worry about it.
So similarly like Bernadette, we were able to be in a production, of course, as you know, Good Times is. However, at the Arena stage in Washington, D.C., a man who we worked with by the name of Mr. Norman Lear saw me in that production, and I literally am one of the few cast members on Good Times who received the job before he got the job. And basically it was right out of my contract, and usually on Good Times in the credits roll you'll see Ralph Carter courtesy of the Broadway musical Raisin. So thereby,
Wonderful.
that's part of my adventure of getting there.
Thank you. Clifton?
Well, thank you. Well, goodness, I started long before you saw me on television. I started in the theater on Broadway, and my first Broadway show, I appeared in the chorus of Hello Dolly in 1962. It was a fascinating experience to not have any background in theater, and I went into summer stock, and I did a whole summer of doing 5 plays and 2 children's theater productions, and then went to audition at an open call. And just like the cast and the story of Chorus Line, I was one of 500 people who stood to sing for 3 roles in Hello Dolly, and to make it short, I was one of them.
Wow.
And I became an understudy and learned to act after that, then went to acting school, and went from one Broadway show to another, off-Broadway, on and on, until I received a Tony Award nomination for our Tony Award-winning show, Two Gentlemen of Verona, and then I went out to Hollywood and went one series to another. It was a very special time, and I'm proud to have had a long and fruitful career.
I got out of the military, and I decided I wanted to be a DJ, and I decided I wanted to throw parties. That was my way of getting money. And I'd been in the streets hustling, trying to do everything I could against the law to get paid. I was tired of that, and I decided I wanted to try to throw parties, and rap music had just came out. And I found out I got more attention from rapping than carrying the speakers around, all the big speakers and equipment. So I started to rap, and I tried to rap like the New York rappers, but then everybody that was growing up with me in Los Angeles was like, well, dude, you know you ain't living like that. So I started to put my lifestyle into the music. Basically, I was living a pretty aggressive, what would be considered now a negative lifestyle, but I wrote about it, and I became like a phenomenon in my city. And I ended up getting a record deal and inventing what they call gangster rap, which is basically hardcore apolitical music from the perspective of kid in the street hustling. I went on from that to make 11 gold albums, gold and platinum records, and got signed to, I was signed to Warner Brothers, and eventually got a chance to act in a movie called New Jack City. Only reason I got to act was because there weren't a lot of young black actors at the time. I mean, at the time, Wesley Snipes had only done Major League. And somebody said, well, you got all these brothers selling all these records, maybe they can act. And as far as being from making music and acting, I mean, it's all entertainment at the end of the day, you know, and most of the times, you know, people in history would act and they would sing and they would dance and they would do everything, you know. So when they asked me to get into acting, I was scared as hell. I was like, are you kidding me? I can't act. They're like, yes, you can. Then they said, what do you do in front of the judge? I said, man, I'm probably a Academy Award winning actor in that case. So I did New Jack City, and since then I've moved around and done a few films, and now I'm on Law and Order. I've been with Dick Wolf 5 shows. And who would have thought, you know what I'm saying? Ice-T playing the police on TV, imagine that. But then again, we do have a black president, so